Are you putting crazy pressure on yourself before placement? Trust me, you're not alone. Let's talk about it. I'm Lauren, a just about to qualified physiotherapist, and I want to make this video which I wish had been around before I started placement to help me manage expectations. So I'm making this video after having a bit of a realisation. Every single placement I've done so far has had one thing in common. I put massive, totally unrealistic expectations on myself. And honestly, it wasn't until I had my halfway chat with my uni lecturer each time that I realised I was making things harder for myself than they need to be. If you're like me and you go into placement thinking you need to know everything, you need to do everything, you need to impress everyone, you're not alone. And this video is here to help you reset those expectations and make the most of your time on placement without burning yourself out. So I'll share my 5 top tips to help. So tip 1. Don't compare yourself to others. Let's start with something important. Not all placements are equal. You'll do 5 or 6 placements during your degree and each one will be totally different. Different teams, different settings, patient groups, learning opportunities. So it makes no sense to compare yours to someone else's. For example, my final placement, I was in amputee rehab. It was a great experience, but I'll be honest, in the first few weeks, I had no clue what I was doing. And when you're mainly observing, it's so easy to start comparing what you're doing on placement to your peers and feeling like you're behind. But honestly, that's not the point of placement. It wasn't about being the expert. It was about taking it all in, learning through observation and experience. So whether you're on the neuro ward, in the community, MSK, peds, whatever, you'll grow in different ways. Don't get caught up in comparing what you're doing or who's had more hands-on experience. You're all getting different puzzle pieces and they'll all come together in the end. So tip 2, the people pleaser problem. Confession time. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, and on placement it made it really hard for me to say no. Whether it was taking on too much, staying late, not speaking up when I was feeling overwhelmed. I just want to do well and not let anyone down. If that's you, remember this: you're a student, you're still learning, and it's okay to set boundaries. You're allowed to ask questions, to say you're not sure, and to ask for support. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you professional. Tip 3. Clarify expectations early. One tip that really helped me on placement was ask your educator in week 1 what their expectations are. Some educators will have a clear structure. By week 6, I want you doing X, Y, Z. Others, not so much. If you don't ask, you might end up guessing and putting way too much pressure on yourself. So have that conversation early, then you can set goals together and track your progress realistically without overwhelming yourself. Tip 4. Learning looks different in every setting. Learning doesn't always look like doing. Some placements are super hands-on, others more observational, but it doesn't mean you're not learning. In fact, some placements with more complex patients means you'll be observing more to really understand what's going on. And that's just as valuable. You often absorb more than you realise by just watching, listening and reflecting. So if you go out of placement thinking, I didn't do much, look back again, you might have learned more than you realise. So tip 5, final placement doesn't equal finished product. One last thing, if you're heading out onto your final placement, let's be super clear, you're not expected to know everything. Even when you're just weeks away from qualifying, I didn't know everything, most people don't. Physio is a career where you're always learning. Even as a band 5, you'll still be developing, still asking questions, figuring stuff out, so be kind to yourself. Final placement doesn't mean you've finished learning. So to wrap things up, don't compare, don't overwork yourself trying to please everybody, and don't panic if you don't know it all yet. You're supposed to be learning. That's the whole point of placement. You're not meant to know it all. If this helped, then please share this video with somebody who you think would also benefit from it, and check out this other video that I've done looking into keeping well on placement and at uni. Thanks for watching and good luck with your placements.